This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is. He's ready to go. Dolphins are off today, so Alain gets to hang out at home with the Montreal Expos hat and just write story after story after story after story. That's what he does. How you feeling, my man? Good morning.
Good morning, too. Hey, I got one for you. If you can't find a good baseball game to lay your pick on, how about a CFL game we got tonight? Winnipeg at Montreal.
What's the line? I don't know.
The schedule.
If the Canadian can't help me with that, I'm screwed, bro. I don't follow the CFL at all. Man.
That's a good point.
So I gotta, at least baseball, I watch it. Maybe kind of half-ass, unfortunately, because I don't follow baseball like I used to. You know what? It ends up becoming my business, and like the people that I broadcast to dictate what I got to do, and so it says football. It says basketball. It says Canes. And then everything else is kind of, it all depends. It's outside of that, everything else is, it's up to you now. We were able to talk Panthers because they made us, finally talk some Panthers, which is really cool. But it's hard to force that baseball talk, dude. It's just hard.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
So really. Let's talk football then.
That's right. But by the way, 21-9. In my last 30. Yeah. That's pretty good, bro.
Props to you.
We are riding. And we actually won. We took the Marlins in our last two games. Marlins minus 1.5 runs. They won 3-0. And then the day before they were plus 2.5. I took the 2.5 runs and they ended up winning. So what the hell, man? It helps out. All right. You've got about a week under your belt now. Mm-hmm. I heard some silliness, some overreaction in the mini camps from other people, not from you. And people were talking about how it's not so organized, or it didn't look good, this, that. So if you had to assess the first week, how did it look? How organized was it? How would you compare it to the first week of a Brian Flores training camp? So talk to me about what you've seen in the first week under Mike McDaniel compared to what you saw the first week, let's say last year under Brian Flores.
Yeah, and you know what? I get those questions all the time, and it's like, God, I've been doing this for more than 30 years. They pretty much all look the same. I mean, it's like it's not like there's one coach who comes in.
They're a lot less physical now than they were 20 years ago.
Well, no, correct. But I mean, from year to year.
Right.
And just because it's a new head coach, because he's getting all these kudos for this practice is really organized. They don't waste any time. Well, they said that when Adam Gase first came in. They said that when Brian Flores first came in. It kind of looks the same, though. I mean, there's no, if you want to say something, it looks very, very organized. It's like there's not a whole lot of wasted time there. They go from like one rep to another, like really, really quickly, as fast and as I've seen, as I recall, if not faster, maybe. There's like I said, very, very, very little wasted time, wasted motions, wasted moments in the practice. But for me to sit here and say it's like groundbreaking, brand new evolution, it looks like a training camp.
Right. No, but I mean, is it so? But are you satisfied with it being organized? Is it organized enough for you? Is it unorganized? Is it clean, the practices for you? Talk to me about what you've seen overall in the first week. What would you tell the Dolphin that you're seeing? What kind of a football team are you seeing right now? Not that it determines what they're going to be in the regular season. I'm just saying the structure that you're watching right now. That's all.
Yeah. Again, to me, it doesn't look a whole lot different. I will say this, that I do recall training camps with a lot more false starts and offsides, for example. I've seen very few of those, which is a good sign. I've seen a hell of a crap load of high shotgun snaps, even though they don't necessarily go completely over the head of the quarterback. They're high. I mean, and there's a ton of
by the way, Tua made a really nice throw on a high snap that was a skinny post. And he threw a perfect pass, but it was a terrible snap, man. And I was talking about this. I think if it rolls into next week, you have to start center hunting, don't you? Because if it goes into a second week, right? The first week, I kind of give you a break. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you a break because this is new to you. But by the second week, I need to see that. I need to see. You know, I understand when the young quarterback is in and there's been some mishandling. But when it's the other two guys, that's when I'm kind of, whoa, wait a minute here. Okay. Those two guys are experienced. I get the young kids, so I may not be able to blame Connor sometimes. It might be the young kid struggling with some of that. But the other two quarterbacks, that's what it scares me at times. It really does.
Here's the big difference, though. With Thompson's issues have all been with the quarterback center exchange.
Right. Understand.
Well, with the high shotgun snaps, I don't recall seeing one of them where it was Skyler involved. It's always been Teddy or Tua. By the way, I do remember the throw that you're talking about, and absolutely that was Tua's best throw of that practice. And by the way, I want this on the record.
I like that throw better than the deep ball.
Okay. I agree. But I want and I even in my practice report,
that's a window throw inside the middle of the field on a pressure situation where you had to adjust that. The deep throw, look, I'm glad that's for people to see the deep ball, whatever, bro. But that's something that's nothing for him. I think that's a normal throw for him. That throw right there, that skinny post throw, that was a badass throw, dude.
Okay, let me make my point here because it's a very important point I need to make. Okay. First of all, number one is when I did my practice observations that day, I pointed that one out as his best throw of the practice. Number two, it's funny because I'm supposed to be the great Tua hater and all that.
Yes, you are.
And I wrote, in the practice observations for that day that I thought he actually had a very good practice. And the following day, which was yesterday, he's the one who was wearing the orange jersey. So maybe I'm not such a hater after all, and then I can recognize when he does good work, and I will write as such. So anyway,
dude, to me, what's coming up with Tua now is that he's completely healthy and he has real structure around him, bro. He has real structure on him, which he didn't have, and it doesn't allow him to be comfortable. It doesn't allow him to go out and be himself and stuff. Now he can go out there and be himself, and he has people. The football people believe in him. That's all that matters. Flo's not here in the building anymore, and whatever the goofy ass owners want to do, that doesn't matter to him either. It's what McDaniel thinks and what Chris Greer thinks, and those guys believe in him. And I think that's what he's rolling off of, and he's fine with that. And that's all he needs right now to carry him.
Okay, that's your assessment. I'm not ready to make that leap yet. I am reserving judgment, as I've always done with him, until we see like stuff that's a lot more meaningful than training camp. I would say, because let's not blow it up and say he's lighting up training camp, because that's would be stretching it as far as I'm concerned. He's looked solid. He's had some days where it's not been so good. He's had a couple of really good practices. But let's wait a little bit. Let's see how he does against Tampa Bay in the joint practices.
Sure.
Preseason game, I don't know exactly how much he's going to play. I know Todd Bowles has already said Brady's not playing for the Bucks.
Why would he?
Correct. No, correct. I would think Tua would play. That's not been discussed yet with.
He has to play some. He has to play because they need it. They need it. They have to assess it. And they have to run their offense with him and all that. With Brady, they don't have to. It's already been run for the last couple of years. They don't need to prove anything else. It's pretty much status quo that's in there because Leftwich is running the show, and that's been his guy from the get-go there in Tampa. So I don't think that's an issue. But, yeah, he will have to play some against Tampa, and he needs it. He needs it. Now, here's what I would tell you. If you look at his first week now under – all these guys, and then his first week last year, how do you compare it, right? Is it a different everything, not just the player, just everything around? Is it a better week for him when you look at it?
I would say slightly better. I don't.
Now, let me follow up with this.
Go ahead.
Hasn't Austin Jackson had a better week his first week than he ever has in his first 2 years?
No question, but he's in. But we knew that, and then we've discussed this before. It's not only the coaching and development, also he's in a scheme that's a much better fit for what he does, right? Without question.
Right, but environment, bro. Environment is.
I'm not buying the environment crap. With all due respect, I'm not buying that. No, it's a better scheme for us.
Steve Young at the LA Express, then go to Tampa, and then go to San Francisco, and you see the difference. You know what I mean? If the environment ruins who you are at times, it just is. And you watch Austin Jackson, who is playing better now, dude. The practice he had, what was it? I was Tuesday, right? Tuesday. That was the best practice I've ever seen him have. Tuesday. Have you ever seen him practice better than he did on Tuesday?
I couldn't tell you that, but again, let's wait until the joint practices. Okay?
I get it, but like he always looked bad. Practice, joint practices, games, preseason. There was never any moment that Austin Jackson ever made you feel good, is my point. And on Tuesday, I was like, holy shit. Like, wow, this guy's actually pretty decent. Now, I'm not telling you he was dominating or anything like that, but it looked like he was like doing all his assignments. In fact, in that practice, Eichenberg had an ugly play, whereas Austin did not have any ugly plays.
Okay. It's very early, and to me, if Austin Jackson makes improvement in 2022, which I expect it's going to have to do with the scheme, players get on the field and all that stuff about environment and all that. I don't buy that. I don't buy that crap. I give it 0.3% of an impact.
So that happens to us. Sometimes you work at places the environment isn't good and you can't do anything about it sometimes. And it hurts your performance too at the same time. I mean, that happens.
Game starts, you're not thinking about environment. Sorry, don't believe that. And then this is guys like Durham Smythe made the point yesterday when he was asked about whether there was any tanking going on in 2019, which wasn't from a player standpoint. Well, and he said like every game we put on film is basically our career. That's our resume and all that. So you think just because you hate Brian Flores, you're going to be like, oh, no, you're going to put out. And if anything, you're going to be like, yeah, let me show that meffer that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, that I'm going to do my job.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally understand that. That's something that I've talked about for many years, that tanking is ridiculous because players can't do that because that's their resume. And if you happen to have a guy that is doing that, well, that guy usually is not in the league very long. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, when I go out there now, the last week, I watch guys run routes. And when I watch Preston Williams' body language out there compared to a Trent Sherfield or Waddle or whatever, it's a different player. And you see it. So really, there aren't tankers. They're just lazy players out there at times.
Correct. Or front runners who need to have things handed to them. And let me address the tanking point. The Dolphins easily could have tanked without tanking in 2019 just by keeping Josh Rosen in the lineup at quarterback. There was zero reason to play Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's right. You're right. You could have called it. You could have called it completely a developmental year. Hey, we're going to play Josh Rosen, and we're going to play him.
See what we have in him.
We need to find out if he can really play. We got to put him in every situation possible and all that. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. How do you think this whole thing with Stephen Ross continues now? Because he already had a shaky relationship with his fan base. I can't see him being accepted ever again by this fan base unless they win a Super Bowl. I don't think this owner will ever be viewed as a positive. I think he's always going to be viewed as a detriment, no matter how much he spends. But he gets in the way of the football decisions, whether it's extending Philbin, whether it's keeping Parcells and company around when he took over, Adam Gase, and now this whole mess here and trying to recruit Brady and company. How does that guy ever make it up with the fans outside of a Super Bowl? Can he ever do it? And what would you suggest to Stephen Ross on how he should handle some of this?
Lay low. That's how he should handle it, which is what he's been doing. Here's the thing, though. The team starts winning. Is any Dolphin fan going to give a crap about Stephen Ross at that point? I don't. And here's
not until the draft next year. That's it.
No, correct. But here's the other point. You can't be pissed at Stephen Ross right now for what he did, regardless of how he went about it, and then complain about him not trying to do everything he can to bring the Dolphins to the Super Bowl, because the dude is trying.
Yeah,
He has not tried the right way, but he has tried.
Your job is to try. Your job is to try when your football people ask you, "Hey, we need this." Sign the check, shut up, and go back to your box. Nobody's asking you to get in the way and go talk to Ndamukong Suh in a Red Wings game, and then you fall in love with the guy, so you've got to sign him. That's the problem with Stephen Ross. He's got to get away from the football decisions. He has to do what the football. In other words, Chris Greer went and hired Mike McDaniel on his own, not with Stephen Ross's help. That's the way it should be. And it's not Stephen Ross interviewing Joe Philbin or Adam Gase, and we don't need to hear his opinion. He shouldn't be part of the process, is my point. And that's the thing. When you want to extend Philbin after a meaningless win against the Vikings, that's a bad owner, bro. It's a bad owner. And that's my point. He's got to stop. As much as he's willing to spend, which God bless him, he's willing to spend, and Bruce Beal, you've got to stay away from the football decisions. Let the football people do the football things. You be the fan that writes the checks. That's it.
I don't disagree with any of that.
What's Viola and Seafood do, bro? The same thing. For the owners that write the checks, they're not demanding on who they sign or whatever. No, they listen to their hockey people, and then they do whatever the hell their hockey people want them to do, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that that's what Mickey Harrison, the same thing. In fact, Mickey one time from what we all know, meddled a little. You know what it was? Tyler Johnson.
Okay.
He wanted to give Tyler Johnson the contract and match the contract from the Nets, which was a stupid deal. And there you go. This is what happened. That the one time he meddled.
Yeah. Owners can't be fans. And then I was in the locker room when you referenced the Philbin extension after that meaningless win against the Vikings. And the way he presented it was, I'm going to give you guys, talking to the media, like a holiday present, so you won't have to be chasing a coaching change story. We're extending Philbin. And this was like, there was a week left in the regular season. They already were eliminated from playoff contention. And I think I remember like all of us going, why? And then he fires Philbin like 4 games into the following season.
Right. Yeah. And that's that. And to me, that's the thing. It's how do you make up for it now? If you're Stephen Ross, outside of, I guess you're right. He has to just completely stay away. But here's the other thing. How does this set up Bruce Beal down the line? Because I don't think anybody in the Dolphin Nation after this mess wants that guy as the owner anymore either. Like they're stuck with him, right?
Yeah, but dude, you know, fans are not going to care if the Dolphins start winning who the owner is.
Right.
And especially what Beal hopefully has learned is he needs to do things the right way, and he needs to not get
in the way,
overly involved, get in the way. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is all right.
I don't buy this notion that fans overly care about the owner, as long as the owner does not interfere or impede the progress of the team. And unfortunately, the argument certainly could be made that there has been some impediment to the progress of the franchise.
All right. Nobody is made it of these young guys and street free agents and draft picks. And you can say, oh my God, they've made it. They're going to be awesome. But give me a guy that's either a draft pick, that's a street free agent, somebody that they not a high level free agent. I'm not talking about Teron Armstead or something. I'm talking about the lower end guys. Give me somebody that's caught your eye. You're like, you know what? This guy might just make an impact this year. He might just help out. Who is it?
Well, the nature of camp early on without the pads, it helps the passing game. So the focus would be DBs. The guys who jump out at me, there's 3 wide receivers, and we've talked about him. Eric Ezukanma is really, really impressive. Braylon Sanders is really impressive. And I'll give you my dark horse for that 6 wide receiver spot. If they keep 6, is River Craycraft or I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. If it's Crawcraft or Craycraft.
It's Craycraft.
Craycraft. Okay, that's what I thought. But I think he's my dark horse to be that 6 wide receiver. Those 3 guys have stood out. Trill Williams has impressed the hell out of me. at cornerback who's kind of like a lesser name, because last year they claimed him off waivers from New Orleans as a rookie free agent. And he looked the part. He was really good at Syracuse. I don't know exactly why. I know he had like an injury late in his college career and maybe it affected his draft status. But that kid's put together for a cornerback. He's physical and he can hang with players. And you see that a lot in those one-on-one like drills with the wide receivers, which are incredibly skewed toward the wide receiver. So if you can do some good coverage in those, and it's amazing because I watch. This is off topic, but you watch X in those drills, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's covering Waddle like a blanket down the field. I mean, where Waddle has half the field to operate, and X is on him like white on rice. And it's like, yeah, that's.
I can't wait for the. I can't wait because all the shit they're talking in New England with Devontae Parker, when they put X on his ass, he's going to shut him down, and they're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, this is not going to work here. Yeah, no, so I'm.
Here's the deal, though. I know a lot of folks like to piss on Devontae Parker. I'm not one of those, but you give the guy his props when it comes to like contested 50-50 balls. He is damn good. And X probably has no peer among NFL cornerbacks when it comes to ball skills. So right. I'd love to see Mac Jones throw up a pass up in the air to Parker with X in coverage and see who comes down with it. That'd be a fun matchup to watch.
I got my money on X. I still have my money on X on that one because he is, when it comes to ball skills, that's one thing you have to give X.
Amazing.
He is elite of all corners when it comes to ball skills. That dude is a magnet for the damn football. He is impressive. All right. What are you working on at Sports Illustrated? Since you're off today, I would imagine you're working on 42 articles.
Down from the usual 87. Yeah, no, I had somebody told me, enjoy your day off. And I'm like, day off? What's that? No, I mean, already today I did like the continuing the countdown. Today's number 35. We posted a story on.
God, I don't remember a lot of 35s.
It's not a group.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
I'll give you a hint for my number one is a recent player who's actually was a really good guy whose career kind of ended like really abruptly, but good dude. Great special teams player.
Shit.
While you think about it, okay, we have a profile on Braylon Sanders. I'm doing a mailbag today, a day off mailbag. Okay. What else? I'm going to do a quick tour around catching up what's going on around the AFC East camps and obviously how that pertains to the Dolphins. And then if news develops in the afternoon, we'll do a notebook or a separate story if the news warrants it.
No, is that him? Walt Aikens?
Yeah,
is that him?
There you go. Okay. You looked it up, or
Sean looked it up.
Cheater, Sean.
Yes, we are. We're cheaters. Yeah, because 35. Dude,
who can know number 35?
Yeah,
really?
dude. It got me like, oh my God, I have no memory of a 35 that's worth a damn. Yeah. And I have a lot of Dolphin history in this head.
Well, no, you're good. I know you're good.
So it's like, holy crap, 35 is a terrible number for us. Wow, I don't remember us enjoying a lot of 30. But Walt Aikens was actually, you're right. He was an excellent special teamer. I loved him as a special teamer. He was one of those guys that was kind of very Izzo-like. You love Izzo as a special teamer. You just didn't want him there as a linebacker. You know, it's the same thing with Walt. You know, the same thing. Excellent special teamer. Yeah, but don't put him in that secondary. They may not go well. What were you going to say, Sean?
35 does not look like a good number to stick with the Dolphins for longer than a year.
No.
I'm looking at Alan's article.
Yeah. No, I mean, when he said the number, I was like, oh my God, I don't remember anything on 35. It like registered zilch right there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and alldolphins.com. That's what you got to bookmark, baby. If you're a hardcore Dolphins fan all over the world, alldolphins.com so you can catch Poupart's work. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Have a great weekend, guys.
You got it. There you go. Sports Grill. Food, family, friends, and great, delicious wings.
This is the Big O Show. Show.